Hello, I'm Sarah, one of the musicians with Jessie's Fund. At Jessie's Fund, we love using music as a means of communication, enabling learners to explore and engage and experience the world around them in new ways. Music can often seem quite scary. Am I holding the instrument right? Am I playing it right? Am I doing it right? What even is music? And in this video, we try and explore some of those different things. We're going to look at the building blocks of music, different sounds, sound worlds, instruments, and ways of incorporating music and musical instruments and sound into lessons, especially with those with very complex needs. Often we forget that our own bodies are an instrument. So for our first activity, I'd like you to do two things. First of all, find 3 ways of making a sound with your mouth. You can pause the video if you like. Here are mine. What are yours? Now do exactly the same, but using your body. Again, you can pause the video if you wish. Mine are you young people will have loads of ways in which they make noises, vocalisations. This is a great way of starting from where they're at. Next activity is to find an instrument. Any instrument will do, whatever you've got to hand. I'd like you to explore it. Find specifically 3 different ways of playing it, 3 different sounds you can get from it. If you'd like to pause the video, now is the time to do it. My instrument is this, and my 3 ways are, I can roll it, and I can bang it. Young people will often find new, unusual, and often quite bizarre ways of playing instruments. As long as it's safe, it's fine. They can start with what they like, and then you can go from there. Now that we've explored what sounds we can make with our mouth, our bodies and our instruments, it's time that we start categorising the sounds. There's so many noises around us, and it's really important for both the young people and for us to differentiate them into sound worlds. This is especially important when we come on to things like composition. There's loads of other videos on the Jessie's Fund website which the other musicians have done, so please do go and have a look if you'd like to explore more. We're going to explore 8 different sound worlds and some of the building blocks of music. The sound worlds are wood, shakers, metal, drums, tuned percussion, things that you can find around you and found sounds, electronic music, and make your own. In addition, we're going to look at some of the building blocks of music. Pitch, high and low, dynamics, loud and quiet, tempo, fast and slow, sound and silence, and duration, short and long. Feel free to dip into the videos as you wish or watch the whole video through. In this first section, we're going to explore wooden instruments. There's lots of different types, from the guiro, which you scrape or hit, the beautiful stirring drum, 2 tone blocks which have differentiated tones between them, and one of my favourites, this one. One of the most fundamental things about music is the difference between sound and silence. And it's a concept that can be really important to get your students used to. For some people with processing delays, the difference between sound and silence can take a long time to recognise, and it's good to give loads of space and time to this. You can also try playing the instruments in different ways. If you find a wooden instrument to join in with me, I'll show you when to start and when to stop. Try playing it now in a different way. You may need to leave much bigger spaces between the sound and the silence for pupils to recognise it. You could do this again with other people leading on different instruments and really sharing out between you that role of conductor or leader. The next family are shakers. There's lots of different kinds of shakers, probably most familiar with the little egg shakers. I've got something a bit like that here, but made of wood. Often you get seed pods. They make a lovely sound, quite wooden in sound. You may have these, or even some rain sticks. I've put all of these under shakers because to me that's what they sound like. The thing that's great with shakers is fast and slow. So we can do very fast or very slow. Follow me to see if you can join in. Try it with a different type of shaker if you have one. The key here is good physical movement. It's quite hard when you've got a whole class to distinguish otherwise. This exercise is around tempo, the difference between fast and slow. Next, we're going to look at metal instruments. There's loads of different types of these as well. They do tend to make fairly shocking sounds, so just be careful. A tabassa, tambourine, bells, little cymbals, and the triangle. Because of how they resonate, these instruments are really good for doing duration, long and short. We can hit it and let the note carry on. The minute we touch it, the note finishes. Find a metal instrument that has a resonating capability and let's give it a go. I'll show you when to stop. As you stop the instrument, you can feel it through your hands, so these are really good for sensory learners. The next section we're going to look at is drums. There are loads of different types of drums, from the djembe. I'm actually sitting on a cajon, which is a drum stool, and it makes different sounds depending on where you hit it. My favourite is probably the gathering drum. It's a bigger drum. It resonates all across the skin and you can really feel it when you play it. It's a little bit larger than a normal drum, which means that more students can get round it or you can share. It's a great instrument to play very quietly. Much louder. You can play games based around this, dynamics, louds and softs. See if you can copy me. These drums are great for sensory learners because you can feel the vibrations through the whole drum. You can use them on resonance boards or even do this type of drumming on the resonance board for young people to feel through their bodies. The gathering drums and all of the drums are very useful as a compositional tool if you want to put something underneath a whole piece of music to make it hang together. They're also very useful for footsteps or heartbeats. Do check out some of the other videos on compositional ideas from some of our other musicians. Tuned percussion, or instruments that have a definite note to them, can feel like the most daunting, as often in a classroom setting it becomes really chaotic. There is 2 really good tricks to know about tuned percussion. First of all, if you use what's called a pentatonic scale, this will always sound nice. Pentatonic means 5 notes, like pentagons. The most normal pentatonic scale is the black notes on the piano. If you've got things like this, it will be the top line. They always sound nice together. If everyone is playing on those notes, then you can make a really beautiful sound. If, however, you've got bells or boom whackers, you can use a different type of pentatonic. The notes here are C, D, E, G and A. Have a listen. Those 5 notes again will work really well together. What's quite useful is most instruments, not all but most, correspond. So my red, orange, yellow are the same as my 3 colours here, which means it's often quite easy to match up your boom whackers with your xylophones with your bells. Sticking to pentatonic is almost always a good thing. The other thing that you can do, which is quite useful, is to do it as call and response. So one of you plays something with another person echoing it. This stops the chaos in the middle. Once you're happy with using pentatonic, you can do all sorts of compositional things. Again, check out some of our other videos with some more ideas. For some schools, instruments are hard to come by and the demand from all of the classes is huge. So you could use some found sounds. There are loads around you. It might be that you record things like the beeping of a microwave, the boiling of a kettle, the reversing of a car. Or in the classroom, you've got loads of things around you. It could be a ruler flicking off a desk, or it could be something a little more different. I've got some sounds here. Got an old key with an old frying pan. There's loads of sounds you can get out of that. A clean pipe. That can also be used a bit like a guiro and scraped. Water cooler bottles make the most amazing sound when they're dropped on the top. And they can be used as drums. Old pipes can be cut to length and used as different instruments, beaters, boom whackers, all sorts of things. If you don't have instruments or don't have access to instruments, get creative, see what's around you and that you can use. For some students, accessing music electronically and through accessible music technology is much more appropriate. There are loads of accessible music technology options such as Soundbeam, Skoogs, iPad apps. Jessie's Fund has a great list and there are loads more ideas out there. Don't feel scared of them. The young people are exploring them and playing with them as much as you are. There can be a lot of fun to be had. For those of you who want to get more creative, maybe you could make your own instruments. It's great for a recycling project or an awareness of how things change and how things might sound when they're transformed. You could go from the very simple bottle with things in it, which becomes a beautiful shaker. You could create your own drums, guitars, flutes even out of dough, which the Royal Opera House have done an amazing video on. Or you could create little banging shakers as well. It's up to you to see how creative your imagination can be. Thank you for watching the video. We've explored some of the different sound worlds there are and the different building blocks of music that we can play with. These can now be combined in a myriad of different ways. Please do go and have a look and explore some of the other videos which will give you further ideas of things to do with music. Bye.